On this episode of Arrive and Drive, I am headed to Beijing in China with Motor Trend and Li Auto. Okay, we made it to Beijing. A couple of long flights, pretty uneventful. Now we're here. The Li Mega is behind me. It's really cool to see it in person, having only been able to look at videos and renders for the past couple of weeks. But I've also got myself one of these. Look at that. Chinese driver's license. I didn't manage to do this last time I was here. I think due to some time restraints. They told me it was going to take like 4 hours to get this done. It actually took like 20 minutes. So yeah, Chinese driver's license, Chinese car to drive. It's going to be a cool week. I'm excited. The reason for the trip was to film a piece of sponsored content for Motor Trend with Li Auto. This is Jason, my guide and now my friend, and he took me into the city. Here you can see just the very first instance of just how advanced the road network here is in China, and there you can also see some of the cameras on the Li Auto Mega. More on that later. Here's the car driving into the city. That blue light above the license plate means that the car is driving autonomously, and we're just so excited to drive into the city just to get a sense of all the energy and excitement. And look, that there is a Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, 1536 horsepower, pretty mega. There's a GT4, lovely BMW, 5N, and a couple more of the Xiaomis. We saw some great cars, but then it was time to head to Li Auto's campus and begin our filming. This is great. I'm excited to be here. Li Auto campus it's very impressive. It's huge.
10 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock in the morning. I've been told that it's Thursday physically. It's still Wednesday in my brain because I am tired, but I'm excited to be here. We're here at Campus C of Li Auto's research and development facility in the northeast of Beijing. And yeah, it's day one proper of filming. So behind me, you can see the Li Auto Mega. This is the car that we will be shooting with. We're going to be, first of all, these guys over here, there are guys stood on the grass. Don't stand on the grass. Get off the... I'm joking. I'm joking. This is the car we're going to be shooting. Right now, we're going to make it look beautiful. It's already a beautiful design, but we're going to shoot it. You can see we've got it here with the light cutting through the hood. We've got it in this beautiful courtyard so that we can feature some of the building and kind of use that architectural texture that comes with the building to really emphasize the design. And then we're going to have some lunch because we love lunch. I'm starving. And then we're going to go driving. I'm going to be experiencing for the first time Li Auto's AD, autonomous driving, Max 3.0, which is their proprietary autonomous driving software. I don't want to give you any spoilers yet because I haven't experienced them. I've just read about it. But what I do know is this: with one push of a button, this car will basically drive from parking spot A to parking spot B. That could be 200, 300 kilometers. It will do the whole journey. Highways, city, parking lots, spiral staircases, not staircases, spiral ramps. I mean, I'm so excited to try it out. So first, shoot the car, make it look beautiful. Second, lunch. Third, drive. After lunch, Helena showed me the smart cabin. Features such as the touch screen on the steering wheel, the giant displays at the front there, and the rear of the car, where in the second row you can fold the seats flat and enjoy the 17-inch display for watching movies, games, and all that kind of good stuff. Sleeping on the job, which is something I've been accused of before, but never in this much comfort. This is Li Mega's... Well, this is the single bed mode, but this is the big bed mode here in the back. In the second and third rows, you can have one or both seats. The second and the third rows recline. There's a mattress, which we don't have here right now, but there's a mattress which perfectly fits the imprint of this seat cushioning, making it a flat bed. So I'm really comfortable now. Honestly, I could sleep like this with a pillow and a comforter, but yeah, with the mattress too. Wow, this really is a rolling home. So living room on wheels. There's a refrigerator and an oven, movies, the sunshade, curtains. What more could anyone ask for? The only thing that's bothering me about this nap mode is the sun's in my eyes, so let's see what we can do about it. Let's talk to the voice assistant and get a little help. Li Xiang Tongsue? Close this. There you go. Ask and the Li Mega shall provide. I will proceed my nap in comfort and with no sun glare. I mean, it's pretty great, isn't it? Just a reminder that this car costs $75,000 equivalent. I mean, it's incredible. Next up was an interview with Li Auto's head designer, Benjamin Baum. So Ben, here's the Mega. Why don't you take me through the design? I'd like to learn everything about this car.
Okay, actually to learn everything about this car, we have to go back in time a little bit. So because some of our elements are actually coming from our first car, Li Xiang 1. So basically, we're starting from the top, you know, like you have this halo light.
Yes.
Like, which is a completely seamless halo element. So basically, it connects the rear and the front of the car. You can look like a Saturn ring or something, really encapsulating the space.
Yes.
And this is since 2018 when we had our first Li Xiang 1. Basically, we had this design element.
This is a signature.
It's a signature now, yeah.
It's the idea that if you're looking in your rear view mirror, you can see and identify, oh, there's a Li Auto car, a Li Xiang, yeah.
And of course, now this is a big trend. Like almost every company has like a ring light in the front.
Yes.
Tesla now with their latest facelifts. But we are basically actually the first company who had it, especially in the Chinese market. I think even in the international market.
Wow.
And we are also the only company which where it's like a seamless run-through element. It's not divided. On none of our cars this element will ever be divided because this is like a signature element. And especially on Mega, when you look at it, this is like seamless. So there's no step, there's nothing on the surface. It's really like integrated into the surface. This is also the big difference between the form languages of I series or like of the electric series and the range extender. Electric is one of the big elements we are using is like seamless design, which means everything is integrated seamlessly into the shell or into the surface of the car. And here you see the headlamps or like the air intakes. Like everything is as seamless as possible because these cars are mainly about lowering the drag coefficient. So, and through having a seamless design language, we achieve that basically. And then there are some traditional elements we use on all of our cars. For example, this U-shaped grille area. We call it kind of the tech area because we put our LiDARs in here, we put our sensors in it, we have our headlamps in it. Like you see, this is the autonomous driving light. So when the car is driving autonomously, we have these blue stripes which indicating that the car is driving by itself. We have that also on the L series back there. And that was also something which we came up on. Like we were the first to have this on the market worldwide actually.
Wow.
And this is basically one of the things I'm actually most proud of because it's directly coming from the design department. We said, hey, come on, let's have something cool to indicate that this thing can drive by itself. And so with Li Xiang, with L9 back in 2020, end of 2021, when it came to market, we had this blue indication of that it can drive autonomously. It couldn't do it back then, so it was already prepared.
The design was there.
Yeah, so because the regulation was not there yet. The car was basically able to do it, but they couldn't use it on the road.
Right. A couple of things that I think I'm noticing as we're looking at it, that I think are quite brave from a design perspective. One of them aesthetic and one of them functional.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, having the badge be the same color as the area that it is placed, I think that's kind of brave. And I think that probably speaks to the fact that it is recognizably in Li Auto. You don't need text to tell you because the badge is there if you want to see it, but if you don't, it's not there. And then the other thing, I don't think a Western car designer has been brave enough to have a sensor be that prominent, right? And especially when you're discussing drag coefficiency, that probably presents something of a problem.
I think this is two counts.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah.
So there you go. But the fact that the design team decided, you know, and with the interplay of form and function, again, we talk about it's obviously of paramount importance to autonomous driving to have that there.
Yeah.
So I think that's very interesting, but I don't think it detracts from the design. And I would go a step further as to say that in all the conversation about form and function, you could use that, or that could lead one to think, oh, well, in that case, they don't care about how it looks. But quite the opposite. This is a beautiful design that people have taken the time to care about.
Yes, for especially these elements, we try not to hide them that much, because it shows you that the car is intelligent. So we always try to figure out how can we make the customer aware of that this car can do different things than other cars. And actually, for me, it was also like in the beginning, I was like, should we do that? Because also I'm coming from a traditional brand.
Yes.
But in the end, I was like, actually, seeing these things on the cars, and you also see it on NIO, like on their cars, ET7 and so on. You see from far, okay, this car has more sensors, more elements, which enables the car to do something more than traditional cars. So actually, I have to say I quite like it, but I totally understand.
You know,
this first impression where you're like, does it have to be there?
Should that be there? But I think overall the design, I mean, it speaks volumes about the company, and it's a beautiful piece of design. It really is. So take me down the side. I want to see some more details.
Yeah.
What have we not covered at the front here?
So front, it's actually very easy. We wanted to create this kind of friendly robot look. You know, very neutral car, and with the halo, you should see from far that this is like a Li Auto. We have this U-shaped tech bar, and that's actually it for the front. It's very clean. And of course, you have the section, which is like describing the volume very nice. You have here this like drop shape. So basically, we were like following to design this car. We were following a very traditional approach to design. So because of course, first you start with a silhouette. It means like from if you have a very unique silhouette, your brain cannot do differently than recognize it as something new. So that's why you can have a look at the silhouette now. Usually, the highest point of a car is not here. You know, it's more to the driver's position. We wanted to have like the highest point, so when the curve is like accelerating from here to this point, which basically leans the whole car a bit further back, but also gives it the impression that the center or the main attention is for the secondary row, which also gives the biggest space to enter the car.
For the opening,
yeah, exactly. And then basically from this point, the highest point of the car, you drop down 220 millimeters to this point, which actually enables the air to be completely attached to the roof and then rip off kind of here, like on this element, which is like our basically aero edge.
Right.
Without this element, actually the drag would not be possible.
Right.
It's basically like a very basic aerodynamic knowledge.
Yeah.
We were lucky that we had from the beginning on an aerodynamic team integrated into our design. So that's actually also a big difference between Li Auto and other car brands. The aerodynamic team is sitting right next to us. So everything we do is like already discussed with them in the beginning of the design stage.
Refines that process. You don't have to sort of submit designs, have them looked over, rejected or pushed back. It's that seamless sort of end-to-end design solution.
So I can tell you how it was at Porsche before. Usually you finish something, and then in the end, after the design is almost finished, you're like, okay, now we have wind tunnel. So what we did here is the aerodynamic engineers already from the beginning, sketch phase, gave the designers an indication what means what. Because as an exterior designer, sometimes you're a little bit confused because some things are counterintuitive. Because you would think this would help the aerodynamic, but actually doesn't. And so it was really good to have them from the beginning on board, especially with this product, where it's a lot about aerodynamic.
Yes. So take me to the rear of the car, because I think the car's front design and silhouette gets so much love, but I think there's so much interesting stuff happening at the back here.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the design, maybe the hatchback, things like that?
Yeah. So basically you see, and the rear as well, all the elements, all these like cameras, sensors, we try to integrate that all in the black parts of the car. So it's actually less obvious, only on second glance. And then we have, of course, like the aero edge, which we need for aerodynamic, and the diffuser, which we need for aerodynamic. You see, like with this, like every little change of this edge will add 2 or 3 counts
Wow.
or reduce 2 or 3
Wow.
counts.
Wow.
So it was a quite interesting process to do that. And of course, you see here that's the main element, is like the halo lamp. So basically,
Yes.
if you would see the car from far now, you would see this light is actually perfectly aligning with the front.
I see, and with the belt line as well.
And
I
with the
think,
belt line
right?
as well,
Yeah.
exactly. What also I think is mentionable on the side, which I just forgot, is you see usually in MPVs you have this like glider,
Oh, the sort of rail here.
the rail
yeah.
here, which
Yeah.
is not integrated into the body side. Usually it's like kind of here. And I think this is quite nice on this thing that you don't have any rails. It's integrated into the glass, which makes it even more clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was actually one of the challenging parts of the car.
Yeah, it's such a clean design. It looks wonderful. I think its design masks a lot of its shape. Until you get really close up to
Yeah.
it, you don't really realize just how big, even though we're here in the equivalent of where the third row is.
Yeah.
It's quite a large design, big car. The dimensions are, do you know the dimensions?
Yeah,
roughly?
530,
Wow.
and it's quite big.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
really, it's a little bit bigger than our L9, and it feels very roomy inside. You can when you sit inside, it feels really like a driving space. And what I told you earlier, it's basically we are really concentrating on creating that like future mobile homes for families. So that's where the next products will go.
Next up, I spent some time with Ethan, who showed me yet more features of the Mega's incredible smart cabin that include the third row seating, incredibly comfortable loads of legroom, headroom, and also this, a hand gesture controlled screen for the second and third row. Just look at how easily, using his hands, he's able to scroll through and select a piece of media to watch. Anyway, after that, it was finally time to go for a drive. However, Lee, I think on purpose, had given me a car with no charge, and that allowed me to experience for the first time Li Auto's 5C charging. So here I am heading to a charge station, popping the car in charge, and look at this. In this time lapse that represents 12 minutes, the car went from under 10% battery to over 80% battery. No gimmicks, no camera trickery, just an amazing charging speed. We're ready to hit the road. I'm so excited, and I'd like to introduce you to Michael here from Li Auto. Hey Michael.
Hi job.
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Great.
Not too bad, thank you.
Well, I'm excited to go on a drive with you finally.
Yeah.
So what are we going to be doing?
Well, you've already set your navigation, right?
Yes.
And then you can literally press that to start everything. Yeah. Just
Wow.
one press. We call it a one press
So
magic.
It's one press magic.
magic, yeah.
So we're parked, we're here where we've charged.
Yeah.
I'm going to press this now.
Yeah.
We're in park.
Mind your surroundings.
And we're off.
It's going to do a park out
Wow.
and then.
Yeah. Wow. So look at that, the 3D camera there.
Driving out of the park.
And it's off. Look
doing
at
all the
that.
commentary as well.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. We are now heading to the parking lot exit.
Wow. Our journey lasted for over 2 hours and for more than 100 kilometers, and I didn't have to intervene a single time. The car did it all. On the highways, it was flawless. And as we got into the city, the roads got a little bit more complex. The traffic, footfall, bicycles, scooters, everything started to compound. The car took it all in its stride. Here you can see it on a roundabout, and you'll see it starts to split the lanes to make a more efficient turn. It's very, very human-like. That is the most striking thing about this autonomous driving software. It isn't a strict rule follower. It does do what it needs to do to work with the other humans who are driving around it. There you can see those 2 mopeds were coming at it, and it scrubbed off a little bit of speed, but it didn't freak out. It didn't grind to a halt and give me back controls and say, I don't know what to do. You take control. No, it worked it out. Here you can see it's dodging and weaving through traffic. It really was very, very impressive. I can't speak highly enough about this software. The trip to China ended with that mind-blowing autonomous driving display, a mundane drive for the Mega, but a pretty awesome couple of hours for me. The tech is so much more advanced than you think. It gave me real hope that we'll see some meaningful advancements in this sector in years to come. My trip continued on to California, where we had shipped a second Mega so we could shoot it there. And then finally it was time for home. Around the world in 8 days with the Li Auto Mega. The full film is out now on Motor Trend's YouTube, so head over and give it a watch. And stick around on my channel for more behind the scenes car shoot adventures.